I got a question for you. Where would the Edmonton Oilers be if they didn't have Connor McDavid? After watching the last couple series in this current round against the Dallas Stars, in my mind, he's the best player that's ever played hockey. Sorry, Wayne Gretzky. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, would Edmonton be anywhere near as good if he wasn't on the team? Now, I know they got guys like Leon Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Zach Hyman, but I mean, is Zach Hyman going to be as good as he is right now without McDavid? Probably not. And after thinking that, though, it kind of made me wonder, what team in the playoffs right now would be the best team if they got rid of their best players? Now, there's a lot of teams where it's really hard to decipher who the best player is. You got Colorado, who has McKinnon and Makar. You got Dallas, who has guys like Miro Heiskanen and Jason Robertson. And one might argue there's better players on Dallas. I don't know. Jake Ottinger's okay. But we all know that having depth is super important. But is it really that important if you got a guy like Connor McDavid?
McDavid, beautiful move.
I don't know anymore. So we're going to use NHL 24 to find out. And I'm going to edit the roster of every single playoff team this year, from Boston to Carolina to Washington to Winnipeg and to Nashville. And I'm going to get rid of their best players. Starting off with Boston, it's got to be David Pastrnak, right? Goodbye. Then if I slide over to Carolina here, I mean, it's got to be Sebastian Aho, right? You know, there's an argument for some of these. I think, at least. I can't believe that Jake Gensel's a 90 on this game. I didn't even realize that. Anyways, we're going to say goodbye to Aho. Let's move on to the next couple teams. And here's one of the most controversial ones. We got McKinnon and Makar on Colorado. My personal favorite team, but I think we got to say goodbye to McKinnon the dog. And there we go. Another really controversial team that I could not pick between these three, honestly, at all in my head. But if we're going to just base it off overall, Jason Robertson's got to be the one that goes. Miro Heiskanen and Jake Ottinger are going to have to carry this team, but they got quite a bit of help on this roster as well. Goodbye, Robertson. Next, we got Edmonton. I don't think we're going to make any arguments about McDavid not being the best player on the team. Draisaitl's great, don't deny it, but nobody's even close to McDavid, except for McKinnon. Goodbye, McDavid. And on to the next, another really hard team to figure out who the best player is. We got the Florida Panthers, we got Tkachuk, we got Barkov, we got Reinhart, who had an insane season. We can't count Bobrovsky out either. I gotta get rid of Tkachuk, he's gone. But I think Florida will be able to do great without him. Next, we got the LA Kings, who don't have any insanely high-end talent. We got Doughty, we got Kopitar. Honestly, I think Adrian Kempe is the best player on this team currently. They still got Doughty and Kopitar up at 88 overalls. Kopitar's a centerman. I think he's more valuable. And Kopitar's gone. Goodbye, Kopi. Next playoff team, we got the Nashville Predators. We got Roman Josi. We got Philip Forsberg, an unreal year from him. UC Saros and Nets, unreal. But it looks like Roman Josi's by far and away the best player on this team. I can't really argue that, I don't think. Goodbye, Josi. I completely forgot that the Islanders even made the playoffs. They got Sorokin and net, who, you know, he wasn't very good. They got Matt Barzal. They got Noah Dobson. We're just going to get rid of Sorokin and net, though, and hopefully they can figure it out. Goodbye, Sorokin. We're going to head over to the other New York team. We got the Rangers, and we got Panarin, we got Fox, we got Shesterkin, who I would argue is the best player. But it looks like on the game here, we got Panarin at a 95 versus Shesterkin's 92. We're going to say goodbye to Panarin. Next up on the list, we got the Tampa Bay Lightning. In my opinion right now, this is an obvious one. Nikita Kucherov is unreal lately, and always has been, but man, you know, no one ever talks about him, do they? Like, we notice him, but you don't get the spotlight like a Connor McDavid at all. But we're gonna get rid of him here and see how Tampa Bay can do without him. And honestly, without him, Tampa still looks like a threat, and they're always gonna be. And here we are, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the team that everybody loves to hate, including me. I don't know why I always feel good when they do bad. Is that sick of me? I don't care. Auston Matthews with an absolutely historic season this year. There's no denying that, and he probably is the best player on this team. The real question is, where's Mitch Marner gonna end up this year? Anyways, we're gonna see how Toronto does without Auston Matthews here. Goodbye, Austin. Next, we have the Vancouver Canucks, and I don't think we're gonna argue with this one at all. Quinn Hughes has gotta go. See you later. Now, I'm biased because I'm a Colorado fan, but people are trying to tell me that Quinn Hughes is better than Cale Makar, and I just don't see it. Well, good for Vancouver this year. Over to another team that people love to hate. We got the Vegas Golden Knights. They know how to beat the system. Maybe I should get rid of Eichel and Stone for these guys. Anyways, we're going to say goodbye to Jack Eichel on that roster. See you later. And here we are, the team that nobody thinks should have been in the playoffs, the Washington Capitals. They got Karlsson, they got Ovechkin. It doesn't seem right taking Karlsson off the team over Ovechkin, so we're going to say goodbye to Ovi here. See you later, Ovi. They're gonna get smoked. I mean, they already got smoked with Ovi, so. Here we are sliding over to Winnipeg, who I really thought should have had a better fate this year. So hard to beat a team that's got Cale, Makar, and Nathan MacKinnon on it, though. Winnipeg's my second favorite team, by the way. Colorado and Winnipeg had to play in the first round. I don't know who to cheer for. But I think we gotta get rid of Connor Hellebuck, even though he had an absolutely abysmal series anyways. Still don't really think it was his fault. Goodbye, Hellebuck. And with that, we're done with these roster swaps, and we're ready to go see what's gonna happen here. I got a feeling teams like Edmonton aren't gonna do as well as they're doing in real life here. Now, I know it's a video game, but let's just, you know, kind of pretend that it's real. All right, I got the bracket set, and that was way harder than I anticipated. Like, they really make you work for this. Anyways, let's start this up. Matchups are set. Let's sim through the first round and see what happens. The first round has come to an end, and wow, do we have some different results than we saw in real life. Over in the West here, we got Colorado beating Winnipeg. We got Vegas beating Dallas in 4 games. We got Nashville beating Vancouver in 5 games. We got LA beating Edmonton in 7. I mean, I guess Connor McDavid was kind of important to the Oilers. I don't know. And then over on the Eastern side, we got Tampa Bay winning the Battle of Florida in 7. We got Toronto beating in Boston in 5. Now we know this isn't real. We got Washington beating New York Rangers in 5. And then we got Carolina beating Islanders in 6. So we compare this to real life. Only 2 teams came out of the first round. So I don't know if it was because they were missing our best players, but let's go check out the stats. And like I said with Tampa Bay losing Kucherov, they got a lot of good players behind them. We got Braden Point leading the way with 14 points in 7 games, and Stamkos right there. On Boston, Charlie McAvoy led the way in points with 0 goals and 8 assists, and he's got Brad Marchand right there with 4 goals and 2 assists. Carolina, Seth Jarvis, one of my favorite players in the NHL, has 10 points in 6 games, with Jordan Stahl right there with 7 points. Colorado, not many surprises here. I didn't do this on purpose. I didn't really notice, but Gabe Landeskog is playing. I might have cheated the system a little bit there. I don't know. Maybe Nichushkin shouldn't be playing either. Anyways, Rantanen led the way. He's got 8 points in 5 games. Cale Makar's down here. He's only got 3 points in 5 games. And then we got Dallas, and I wasn't expecting Joe Pavelski to be leading the way. I was thinking maybe Wyatt Johnston, but Joe Pavelski has the most points in the first round for them, but they got swept in 4 games. No Jason Robertson, no winning, I guess. And then we got the Edmonton Oilers without McDavid. And it looks like nobody stepped up because they just lost to the LA Kings in round 1. And Darnell Nurse led the way in points. I mean, that just doesn't seem right. Draisaitl was tied with 5, and Hyman also had 5. But I guess this team is absolutely nothing without McDavid. I had to check the goalie stats. We got Stuart Skinner with a .895 save percentage. That's pretty good for him. No offense, Stuart. Florida without Matthew Tkachuk. We got Sam Reinhart leading the way, and Barkov right there. No surprises on Florida. LA Kings without their captain Kopitar. We got Fiala leading the way. We got Phil Abdeneau right there. Got Adrian Kempe down here a little bit. But hey, they found a way past Edmonton, so. And then we got the Nashville Predators, who beat Vancouver in 5 games, led by Alexander Carrier. The Carrier or Carrier? Carrier? Carrier. Anyways, he's got more points than Philip Forsberg. Sliding over to the Islanders, we got Bo Horvat, Barzell, Dobson leading the way. But if you remember correctly, the player that we removed wasn't a skater, it was a goalie. And we had Varlamov leading the way, and he was goddamn horrible. .857 save percentage, .479 GAA. Over to the Rangers, who got knocked out by the Washington Capitals in this sim. We got Philip Sheetal leading the way. I know he hasn't played a playoff game yet this year, but he's carrying this team now with Panarin gone. Well, not really, because they lost to the Capitals, but he tried. Matt Rempe had 1 assist, though, so good for him. And we know Tampa Bay was led by Point and Stamkos. We got Brandon Hagel. We got Jeannot up there. Let's go. We got Toronto without Auston Matthews, and maybe he was the problem because they won their first round matchup, and Mitch Marner showed up for once. You know, good for them. Always got to check their goaltending situation, and it looks like Samsonov and Woll did a great job back there. Vancouver with a first round exit without Quinn Hughes on the back end. Pedersen led the way with 5 points. Miller, Lindholm right there. They just couldn't do it without their captain. Well, at least Demko got to play every game. Now, did he do great? Not really. We got the Vegas Golden Knights without Jack Eichel here. They did beat the Stars in 4 games, and Jonathan Marchessault led the way with 7 points. We got Stone there. We got Pietrangelo up there. Vegas is just always going to be good, aren't they? On to the Washington Capitals, who had the most absurd upset in this simulation, led by the guy Tom Wilson. We love to see it. Dylan Strome right there. Pacioretty right there. Oshie right there. Good for them. And we got the Winnipeg Jets without Connor Hellebuck, who did not fare very well against the Colorado Avalanche. Trifley led the way. Ehlers at least kind of showed up in the playoffs this time. And honestly, Brossoit didn't do too bad without Hellebuck there. Colorado's just better, I guess. Anyways, that's it for the first round. Let's get through the next round. And would you look at that? Colorado wins another round without MacKinnon. They take out the Vegas Golden Knights in 6 games. The LA Kings beat Nashville in 7. And over on the eastern side, we got Toronto beating Tampa Bay in 6. I mean, what is going on in Toronto right now? Get rid of Matthews. I'm just kidding. I don't really think he's the problem. And then we got Washington beating Carolina in 6. What is this storyline right now? No Ovechkin, no problem. We got Avalanche LA. We got Toronto, Washington. Who's going to be in the finals here? Now, for the remaining teams on Colorado, Rantanen's leading the way without MacKinnon. He's got 14 points in 11 games. We got Jonathan Drouin right there. Cale Makar's up there with 10 points now. These guys don't need the dog. Next, we have the LA Kings without their number 1 centerman in Kopitar. But Philippe Deneau, is it Philip or Philippe? I'm calling him Philippe. He's leading the way as the number 1 center. He's got 14 points in 14 games. We got Fiala helping him out there. Next, we got the Leafs, and we still got Marner leading the way over there. He really decided to show up without Matthews in the locker room with him. We got Morgan Riley doing his job. We got Willie Nylander, who actually I really like in the playoffs all the time. I think he's one guy that Toronto doesn't want to get rid of. And then we got the Ovechkin list, Washington Capitals, led by Dylan Strome and Tom Wilson here, and John Carlson, obviously. Looks like Charlie Lindgren really wants to show up at net. He's putting on for his city here. He's got a 938 save percentage and a 215 GAA. Can't complain about that. But it's time to see who's going to make it to the finals. I still can't believe how this bracket's panned out. And I mean, wow. I swear I did not rig this to get my favorite team in the finals. I know I let Landeskog play, so I kind of did, but I didn't mean to let him play. In Washington, I don't know what to tell you. I guess I got to get rid of Ovechkin because they're in the goddamn finals. We got Washington. We got Colorado. Who's going to win it all? It's going to be Colorado. And I was right. Colorado Avalanche, without Nathan MacKinnon, are winning the Stanley Cup. I honestly thought they were gone first round without MacKinnon. Washington took it to 7 games. Mikko Rantanen and Gabe Landeskog ended up leading the way in the playoffs. Now, they might put an asterisk on this one because Landeskog was playing. Yeah, I know. Dylan Strome carried the load for the Washington Capitals without Ovechkin. Tom Wilson also had a run there with 20 points in 22 games. Charlie Lindgren's stats were still pretty solid there in the end. And I mean, wow. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. Leave a comment below who you think the biggest impact player in the entire NHL is. Once again, I'm biased. I gotta say Nathan MacKinnon, even though Colorado didn't need him to win here. But anyways, my opinion doesn't matter. But I also want to know who you guys think is winning the cup this year. Are the Oilers going to be able to get past the Stars? Are the Rangers going to beat the Cats? My brain wants to say Dallas and Florida in the finals. My heart wants Edmonton and Florida. All I really know is I don't want the Rangers to win. And thanks for watching.